The story of Esther is one of courage, faith, and the unseen hand of God. Set in the mighty Persian Empire, it's a tale of how a young Jewish woman rose to be queen and saved her people from destruction. But Esther's story is more than just history, it's a lesson in standing firm when life demands courage. Our story begins in the court of King Xerxes, ruler of the Persian Empire. Xerxes, a powerful but impulsive king, held a grand banquet for his nobles. During this feast, he called for his queen, Vashti, to appear and showcase her beauty. Vashti refused, and this act of defiance enraged the king. He deposed her as queen and began a search for a new one. Meanwhile, in the city of Susa lived a young Jewish woman named Hadassah, better known as Esther, orphaned as a child. She was raised by her cousin Mordecai, a man of strong faith. Esther was beautiful, inside and out, and her character shone brightly. When the king's officials announced a search for the most beautiful woman in the land to become queen, Esther was taken to the palace. Mordecai advised her to keep her Jewish heritage a secret for her safety. After months of preparation, King Xerxes chose Esther. He loved her more than all the others and crowned her queen. But trouble was brewing. Haman, a high-ranking official in Xerxes' court, despised the Jews, especially Mordecai, who refused to bow to him. Fueled by hatred, Haman devised a plan to annihilate all the Jews in the empire. With the king's permission, he issued a proclamation declaring that on a set day, all Jews would be killed. When Mordecai learned of the decree, he was devastated. He sent a message to Queen Esther, urging her to plead with the king to save their people. But approaching the king without being summoned was punishable by death, even for the queen. Esther faced a life-altering decision: remain silent and save herself, or risk her life to save her people. In a moment of profound courage, Esther told Mordecai to gather the Jews of Susa to fast and pray for 3 days. She would do the same. Then she uttered the famous words, "If I perish, I perish." After the 3 days, Esther approached the king. To her relief, Xerxes welcomed her and extended his scepter. She invited the king and Haman to a banquet, where she planned to reveal her request. At the banquet, Xerxes, intrigued by her boldness, asked what she desired. Esther invited him and Haman to a second banquet. Meanwhile, Haman's hatred for Mordecai grew. He built a massive gallows, intending to hang Mordecai. That night, Xerxes couldn't sleep. He ordered the royal records to be read to him and discovered that Mordecai had once saved his life by exposing an assassination plot. Realizing Mordecai had never been rewarded, the king asked Haman how to honor a man the king delighted in. Thinking the king meant him, Haman suggested a grand celebration. To his horror, the king ordered him to honor Mordecai in the way he described. At the second banquet, Esther revealed her identity as a Jew and exposed Haman's plot. She pleaded for her people's lives. Furious, Xerxes stormed out. When he returned, he found Haman pleading with Esther for his life, which the king misinterpreted as an assault. Haman was immediately arrested and hanged on the gallows he had built for Mordecai. With Haman gone, the king gave Esther and Mordecai the authority to write a new decree. The Jews were allowed to defend themselves against their enemies. On the appointed day, the Jews triumphed. The tragedy was averted, and the Jewish people established the festival of Purim to celebrate their deliverance. The story of Esther is a powerful reminder that God is always at work, even when he seems silent. Esther's courage, Mordecai's faith, and the miraculous deliverance of the Jews show us that no matter the odds, we are never alone. So, what about you? What steps of courage is life calling you to take? Like Esther, you might be here for such a time as this. Please subscribe, share and like the video.